Welcome to the Broken Sun. Okay, so we're going to have to bounce back and forth between the missions here as things go. So CD, you're in a risky position. Your timer, you have made it into the mid area. You're approaching the drop point. What is the backup drop point you're going to? You tell me.
It's an alleyway for one of the outer buildings of a theme park. A really lovely, rundown old theme park.
Is that what it is in the sim?
Yes.
Okay. In the real world, it's probably like an alleyway, like a blind alley. And then, not a blind alley, it's an alleyway, behind something that may at one point have been a recreation center for the outer layers, but has now been turned into or for the mid layers rather, but has now been turned into mostly like repair shops and stuff. So it's, you're in sort of a, I don't want to say blue collar because that's not really the thing here. You're in a working class neighborhood in an alley behind some of the sketchier shops in the area.
Yes.
In the sim, it's sort of a haunted looking remains of a theme park that people have just sort of left to digital decay. You see sort of JPEG artifacts flickering around the old disused rides and so on, because like a couple of 100 years ago, people looked at this digital theme park and thought, why are we going on digital rides here? We could do anything in the sim. Why did we do this? And they just kind of left the Ferris wheel and the carnival rides alone, and they've devolved into a flickering mess.
I love this place. CD loves this place. I love this place.
I'm sure
CD
they do.
loves this place. And because I want to get to bingo by the end of our recording session, it is called Twinkle Park. I think that's the name.
Twinkle Park.
That's the name. Really bad Sonic reference.
Your contact said they would meet you in the haunted house.
Yes!
Now, you're in a risky position because you picked up a tail on your way here.
You mean Tails?
No, its name is Zero.
There could have been multiple tails.
It is a big green grabby robot that I hate.
It could be a big green grabby robot. You've picked up at least one tail that you're aware of. You know you're being followed by at least one person. Your sort of trench coaty look, or whatever it is that you've got set up, wasn't as stealthy as it could have been. And also there's a lot of interest surrounding this artifact, so people are watching the sort of usual areas where these types of transactions take place. So there's at least one tail that you know of. There could be more. So you need to avoid leading the tail to your contact here.
Okay, so now it's time to attune. Attune?
Hello? Can we attune?
I just want to imagine that it's Elmer Fudd saying that instead of the other mental images. So CD is going to try to attune to the sim to appear as a... Oh gosh. See, I had a specific incident in my mind, but it wouldn't make sense in this situation. One of my favorite quasi-mythological events, which was when St. Patrick disappeared. Him and his monks disappeared and looked as deer to get by these druids, which, gosh, has got to be one of my favorite stories.
Okay.
But CD wouldn't turn into a deer or a dog. I think CD wants to appear as some sort of artifacting glitch that's just slowly moving through the park.
Okay. You're going to turn into Missing No.
Yes!
All right, you're just going to do this while you're standing there knowing that somebody's watching you? You want to do that way?
No.
And hope that they are thrown off?
No, CD's going to start running in a random direction away.
Oh, okay. So let's do a scramble first if you're going to be running away.
Aww.
This will be risky with standard effects because you are being watched by at least one person.
Risky standard. Okay. Why you gotta be like that, Dice? Why you gotta give me a 2 again?
Yeah, you got a 2 there. So CD starts running or rolling on their treads in an attempt to escape detection. And as you are doing that, it's obvious what you're doing, that you're trying to get away. And you see out of the corner of your optics 2 other people appear in your field of view. And now there are 3 people, and they are chasing you. You are now in a chase.
Ruh-roh.
So you can see they're like drawing weapons coming after you, and yeah, you are in a chase scene now. And as you run up to the camera zooms into your treads, and as your treads crumble along the landscape, we zoom back out, and now it's the tank's treads tearing up the road and rolling over what looked like it was a very nice attempt at a Zen garden made out of rocks in this impoverished neighborhood. And we hear screaming as people are running away and trying to save their belongings from this rampaging machine. And the camera zooms sort of around to where are Slip and Augustus standing as they arrive here.
Rooftop?
Yeah, I kind of figured rooftop. So it sort of settles in, the camera settles in behind you in like a third person, video game view, and swings around in front for the cutscene to see the 2 of you here. So the tank is below you. It is rolling over this Zen garden, and it is heading towards the building you are on. By sheer risky bad luck, you have happened to arrive in the path of the tank, which is why you are in a risky position to start with here. What happens?
That's got to be bad for feng shui.
I'd imagine so.
All right, Augustus, I'm going to try to reach out to the tank's mind with my mind. I don't really know why you're here on this roof with me, to be honest.
I'll use my mind to push your mind so you can get up into Tank's mind. It'll be like psychology, but in reverse, for machines.
Yeah, let's hold hands.
As your hands and clampers does, yeah. It's just kind of go clunk, clunk together.
I'll daintily hold Flip's clamper with 2 fingers.
As you're having this heartwarming moment, the tank drives into the side of the building as it is turning a corner, and the building begins to collapse underneath you. Do you want to do something about that, or do you want to just get buried in rubble here? It'll be a level 2 harm buried in rubble.
I tell you what, I jump onto the tank.
Okay. So, sounds like you want to resist with prowess.
Gonna try to.
That effect. Okay, let's give it a shot. Okay. So, -2, you suffer 4 stress, but you leap and land on top of the tank nicely. So, you're standing atop of it as it's driving along. Augustus, what happens to you?
Instant death.
Yeah, I don't think I can use a 2 to land on a mattress or anything, so I'll probably have to also try to jump onto the tank.
You are holding hands with Slip, so theoretically they could resist on your behalf and try and throw you out of the way or pull you out of the way. No, not going to happen. Okay, so you'll have to resist with prowess on your own, Augustus. I'm sorry.
This is our season 2 team, not our season 1 team.
2 stress left.
Oh,
I have no points in prowess, so I will take that 2 as well.
Yeah, you suffer 4 stress, but you also land do you want to land on the tank or just behind it?
I'll land on the tank. Go big or go home.
Okay. You land on the tank on your blade-like feet that Augustus has?
Yes.
Yeah. They do a little sproing as they flex, and you stumble a bit, but you are both now standing atop the tank. The tank's turrets, one on either side of you, start to rotate, but they can't obviously point towards you because you are on top of the tank. What happens next?
Slip just scrambles around for a panel that they can get their, basically an AV cord that will allow a hard connection into the tank.
Okay. It sounds like that might be a study that you're doing or a rig. I could see either one.
Is this the red, yellow, and white cables or the blue, green, and red ones?
It's hard to say at this point. It's probably going to be I would say, no, you resist that. You're still in a risky position. It's going to be a risky roll regardless. I think if it's study, you will be looking for an access point. If it's rig, you'll be trying to make your own.
Well, I have only a single dot in rig, so let's make our own way.
Do you want to do? This could be a team action, or you could get assistance.
I do not have any rigs.
How you doing on?
It doesn't matter if you have rig. You
could still burn a single stress and just give me that good old bonus die.
I've come this far. I'll help you out.
Thanks. I appreciate it. We're on this tank together. In life,
we're all on this tank together.
In life, your best friends will jump on to tanks with you.
Okay. This is going to be risky and standard to get access in there with your rig. Who is, was it just assistance or group action? Was it? Sorry. Assistant.
Yeah, assistance.
Okay. So you are providing assistance. You are looking around using your, probably, let's face it, much superior optic cameras to Slip's, trying to find an access point. And Slip, if you want to roll that, you've got an extra die from the assistance.
I got a crit.
You got a crit. Okay, very good.
Double crit. Damn.
What does a crit do in this case?
You believed in the me that believed in me.
But it's a double rainbow, Matt.
So, Augustus, what do you spot on the tank?
Are you asking me what I see with my elven eyes?
Sure. If Augustus has had custom installed into their chassis elf eyes, why not? What do your robo elf eyes see, Augustus?
It's just a very. I assume this was a prototype. It's a kind of glaring auxiliary input, but it says this is not an auxiliary import. But I know when someone's lying to me, especially a machine.
Right. So it is labeled as something else, but you are familiar enough with this game to point it out, and you just pop it right open there, Slip, and there's an access jack there. You plug in. You're into the system here, and I think in terms of it being a crit, not only are you into the system here, but as you plug into it, you feel a surge of energy, and you and Augustus each heal 1 stress, because plugging into this has tapped a new reserve of power for you. You're kind of attached to a charger right now.
Solid.
So in this moment of triumph, as we see the battery indicator on Slip's chassis go from red to yellow, that yellow light resolves into a yellow haze in the theme park over the love tunnel that CD finds themselves running towards. It's one of those ones that's got swan boats, each one sized. Because this is the future, each one is sized for at least 4 people, because you never know, maybe a polycule is going to go on together.
Aww.
And you are running towards it, and instead of them being swans, it's actually, whether it's due to digital decay or somebody had a sense of humor, it's canaries. Canary-shaped boats for some reason, and that's the yellow that we pull out of. No, it's rubber duckies. That makes more sense. Rubber duckies.
I love you.
No, not rubber duckies. You don't like the rubber duckies?
I love the rubber duckies. I'm just upset that I didn't think of it first.
So it's rubber duckies with 4 seats each. You can probably add seats or remove seats. It's the sim, but they're set at 4 to start with. That's where you found yourself headed as you are being pursued by people with weapons. 3 of them.
Well, during when my friends were talking and I didn't have to talk, I thought about it, and I think I'm gonna take a devil's bargain to completely skulk, disappear and lose them.
Okay. How are you going to hide in this situation? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do?
Well, since CD is in this lovely tunnel, there's this area that is called the Temple of Love, and CD is going to find a hatch. You can go inside the temple, and there's a hatch you can go down into, and that is where CD will hide.
Okay, so that sounds like you're doing a skulk. Trying to decide if this is desperate or still just risky. I think they haven't caught up to you yet, so it's still risky. It's limited right now. You will probably be able to evade them for a minute or 2 with this maneuver.
Okay.
So it's going to be a risky, limited skulk. And you said you wanted to ask about a devil's bargain?
Yes.
Okay. And where was it you were trying to hide again?
Under this hatch in the Temple of Love, in the Tunnel of Love.
Okay. So you want to dash in there. The devil's bargain is that you can get into this hatch. You'll be able to hide in there, assuming that you roll a success. But regardless, whether you roll a success or not, you will take the level 1 harm cramped because it is too small for your chassis. Something might fall off or break off.
I will accept that because CD doesn't care as much about their corporeal form. So that gives
Okay.
me an extra dice.
It sure does.
Wish I had a fate point. Risky standard.
Risky limited.
Oh, dang it. Okay, well, a 4.
Yeah, you got a 4. Okay, so you take the level 1 harm cramped, because that's the devil's bargain. You do get in there. As the hatch is swinging shut behind you, it makes a very loud noise. So the amount of time that you have to hide in here has been cut down from like a couple of minutes to maybe a minute. So you're going to have to figure out your next move quickly and hope that they don't notice you despite the noise. I would say this has put you into a desperate position.
Well, CD is a doctor, not a hacker, so they're going to recall the time that they had to lock the door to protect themselves from enemies while trying to doctor a fellow soldier. And they're going to roll their doctor roll and take 2 stress. Oh, wait, no, I don't have to do that if I consume an item that I have, right?
Which item would that be?
Oh, maybe that would be hacking tools.
It says you can push yourself to roll your doctor rating while performing different actions. So you'd take 2 stress and then roll doctor instead of hack.
Correct.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay, so mark that 2 stress, and then you're desperate, but this will be a standard effect here.
Risky standard again.
Desperate standard.
I have this hard time with this short-term memory thing.
No big deal.
No.
We will figure it out together. Okay.
It was a 1 and a 2. I got a 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
got
what?
a 2.
I don't think I've ever rolled higher than a 4 in this entire system using it. And that makes me sad.
Well, it means you're due for some luck at some point, but unfortunately the luck is not with you right now. As you are attempting to hack the door shut, you hear a loud noise and the door is wrenched open. One of the people is directly outside now, pointing at you with it's like a length of pipe with a rock strapped to the end of it. So it's like a crude mace. They say, "Don't make me bust you up. Get out here."
Okay, but I really wish, you use something at least a little bit more professional or better. That's like, you were like, oh, I need a weapon. I need to fashion one really quickly. And CD says this as they start getting out of this cramped hatch.
It does the job, they say. One other person comes up behind them. So you're still in a desperate position. You are outnumbered 2-1. They both have weapons. One of them's a crude mace. The other one is looks like they have some type of shock prod. You know what that can do to a chassis. The other one's like, hey, okay, so I guess hand over all your valuables?
Is that Michael Sarah?
No. These two have mismatched chassis. Are you looking at them in the sim or in the real world?
Why not both?
Well, pick one for the moment.
The sim.
Okay. The one with the shock prod is a woman. She is about 6 feet tall, built. She has a lot of what looks like cosmetic scarring on her face and exposed arms. So like the kind of scar that an anime character has to make them look cool. Just like the skin is darker here or lighter here, but clearly that makes them a badass. They have that. She's wearing a green tunic, basically. It looks, you would say tunic, maybe tabard. And they've got tights on, like leggings. And yeah, they're holding a shock prod there as well. She's got pale skin, green eyes, and red hair up in an improbable ponytail that looks like it wouldn't work in reality. But fortunately, this is not reality. The other one with the mace in the sim, it's a slightly nicer looking mace, but it still looks like, beginner level adventure equipment, essentially. They are also wearing one of those historically inaccurate Viking helmets that has horns on it. One of the horns is broken in a very, edgy, cool way. And they're wearing basically Viking clothes. They're blonde. You can't see their eyes because the helmet has those eye covers on it. They've got a big blonde beard as well. And they are wearing like a studded leather stuff as well.
How did they run with all that edge? Don't they know it's not safe?
Well, they're on the edge of glory, or so they think.
Are these the people that had started chasing me at the beginning, or are these the two people that started following me later when I started running?
If you had to guess, you'd think that the woman is the one who was one of the two who appeared after you started running, and the big guy is the one that you saw, who you picked up early on. You knew that you were being followed by this guy.
Okay, quick question before I give up my valuables. Are you two working together?
For now. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, why not?
And CD's kind of like just standing there for a second. Now,
The guy taps his mace into his gauntleted hand impatiently.
Now, when I gave the thing to the people, to the Solar Worker Union people, were they then going to give me the cred then?
They were going to give you the 2 cred remaining, yes.
Okay, so CD is going to be like, so, how much would you get paid, for this?
Depends on how much you have. And, if you've got what you think you've got, it's worth at least 6 cred.
Okay. Then she looks at the guy and is like, so you'd be willing to, sorry, I used female pronouns there for CD, sorry. They look at the guy and is like, so, you'd be willing to let her take this 6 cred?
Yeah, we can split it. I mean, we're in the same gang. Look, you gonna hand this over, or do I gotta get rough? He raises his mace, getting ready to strike.
CD is thinking about it for a second, and then they're gonna be like, okay. And, one last gambit. They're gonna, like, take out, like, the first thing they have of value that isn't the flash drive, and I'm gonna try to roll an attune to, see if I can make the flash drive appear to not be the thing, and see if that works.
Okay, what are you trying to give them? Are you going to declare some of your gear?
Oh yeah, hold on a second.
So right now you have 5 things of gear already ticked off at the moment, but you haven't declared that you're using it yet, so you can remove that if you want and declare what you're using right now.
I only have 3 things ticked off as... Oh, right, yeah. So I declared... So the first thing CD is going to hand, like, the thing of value that they have is, like, imagine that this is a flash drive with information about the tank on it.
We don't know what it is.
Well...
Oh, a flash drive that you have.
Yeah, with just the pictures of the tank.
Okay.
And that's, like, the thing they're going to take out and try to, like, pretend... like a tune so that it appears to be the other flash drive.
Okay. So you have a flash drive that has information about the tank on it, the bit of information that Slip got, and you want to pass that off to them. So I don't think, because they're both standing in front of you watching you, I don't know if a tune will be your best option here. Like, you can try to attune to do that, but it is going to be limited effect, and you're in a desperate position. You can probably try to sway, because you're lying about the contents of this flash drive, or this could maybe be skulk.
See, I have a tick in skulk where I have no tick in sway.
Okay. So skulk would be basically you trying to do a sleight of hand with the item.
Okay, well then let's try that, and if that doesn't work, then CD will give them the real item, I guess.
If it doesn't work, I mean, bad things are going to happen. There's a desperate standard skulk roll.
Bad things are going to happen
Remember to
no
mark
matter
your
what.
XP.
Do I put...
Mark XP every time you do a desperate roll.
Yeah, quick question. Do I put that in next to insight, or just to the XP down below?
I put it into insight for the last desperate roll you made, because that was a hack roll you tried to do. In this case, you would put the experience into your prowess track, because skulk is under prowess.
Okay, so I will mark XP and click on skulk and close all the other tabs so I can reach roll 20. And
this is desperate and standard.
Nope, roll 20 just likes to
No.
give me 2.
Yeah, that's another 2. I think roll 20 is haunted, but I think we already established that last session.
Yeah.
So you hold out the flash drive, and it is clear immediately as soon as you try to offer it up that they know what the thing they want looks like. and that they know this isn't it. So the consequence here is that the guy with the mace hits you. He hits you with his mace.
And CD falls down.
You take level 2 harm, I guess, smashed.
Maced.
Yeah. Which you can attempt to resist with your prowess if you wish.
Oh, why not? Because of the fact that, I mean, what have I got to lose at this point?
Your life, I guess.
I know that, but I mean, like, now that hasn't worked, CD's going to give them the drive.
Well, let's see the prowess roll. Okay, so you take 2 stress.
Okay.
And how do you avoid getting smashed by this mace?
CD is already falling down, like, in preparation of getting hit. They just imagine that but because they're, like, falling, I guess it doesn't hit them as hard.
Okay, so you avoid taking harm for that. As the mace descends and CD falls to the ground, there's a cut in the camera. The mace goes from being a mace slamming into the camera to being the barrel of a tank. It zooms out of that blackness, and we can see on top of the tank, riding it mostly triumphantly, Slip and Augustus. You are on the tank. You are jacked in. What do you want to do from here?
I want to first try to make the tank stop moving and attempting to shoot us.
Okay. I'm going to start a clock here.
Sure.
And I'm going to add 2 ticks to it. I'm going to add 1 tick to it from your previous crit. Okay. And this is going to be gaining control of the tank, this clock. So how are you trying to get it to stop moving?
By attempting to commune with any sort of intelligence in the design of the tank. Presumably there's some sort of executive function taking place.
Okay, so it sounds like you're going to do an attune.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're risky. This will be standard effects. This is virtual intelligences like this one are not as sophisticated as an AI, but they are the most common form of artificial tech, brain technology up here on the battle station. So this will be a risky and standard effects with, what are you doing, attune?
Yep, that's a 6.
All right, you got a 6. You got a 6. Okay, I'm going to fill in 2 ticks here. That brings you up to 3 out of the 6 ticks in the clock. You are able to get the tank to stop moving. It rolls to a halt just as the barrel of one of its turrets bonks into the side of yet another building. This one is marked. It looks like a bakery of some sort. Why there would be a bakery here? Probably that was a leftover from when people actually lived here with real bodies. But it still says bakery. Somebody has spray painted air quotes or quotation marks around the word bakery. So now it is a bakery, and the barrel of the tank's turret is resting directly against the letter K. Augustus, you want to do something while you're here?
Yeah, I think since I'm on top of the tank, I will assist in trying to get it to heal using attune as well.
Okay. You plug in where CD is plugged in. Are you doing like a daisy chain, or are there multiple ports here? Are you plugging in, Slip. Are you plugging in through Slip, or are you plugging in on your own?
I think we'll plug in through Slip as a show of solidarity.
CD wishes they were here right now.
Baby elephant walk, yeah.
CD's having a bad time.
CD's always having a bad time.
CD in the no good, awful, terrible carnival.
Existence.
Carnival's always a bad time.
Okay.
What is my position?
You're in the same one here, risky standard attune.
As the second in command to Whiskey Tango, Whiskey Standard.
No.
No, you fool. Stop it.
Okay.
Roll 20 does not like Augustus.
It's the anti-crit.
You got a 2 there. As you plug in, there is a short in the system. There's too many things plugged in. It's not designed for this type of input. And I think you and Slip are both flung clear of the access port, and you find yourselves clinging to the 2 barrels of the tank, like clinging to them, trying not to fall off entirely. So you're now in a desperate position as the tank starts to move again and is attempting to shake you off the barrel.
Could it not?
I don't know. Could it not? How could it not?
Because if it could not, that'd be great.
Is there still a hard connection, or were we tossed out of that?
You were jacked out. Your plugs got disconnected.
Can I push myself to side dance inside the tank's mind?
Probably. That's one of your abilities, right?
Yep, that's basically what I do.
Okay. Yeah, you can for sure push yourself here. Let's see, side dancing. You may push yourself to cloud a target's mind, sway them to face counter difference. Okay, spend 1 stress for each additional feature. I don't think you can spend a 1 stress for additional features here.
Nope, I would stress out.
Yeah. Okay, so push yourself and cloud the target's mind. You don't have to roll for it because it's just you push yourself instead. What are you convincing the tank of?
Everything around it is friendly. It does not need to freak out.
Okay. The tank slows its roll, basically, and stops swinging around. I'm going to add 1 more tick to the clock here to bring you at 4 out of 6. So you're back into a risky position now with that. You're both still clinging to the barrels of these tanks.
Augustus, I'm barely holding on. I need you to do something quick.
Can I lead like a group scramble?
You can, yeah.
If you got the stress for it, happily.
Even if I do not have any points in scramble.
When Augustus does it, it's a sprinkle.
Let me read that sprinkle action. I can lead even if I don't have any points in it?
Yeah, of course. You'd be managing the action.
Oh, I'm a manager.
Sounds like Augustus.
Okay, so what does this look like? It'll be risky and standard here still.
Can I push myself or take a devil's bargain for this?
Yeah, you can do one or the other.
All right, I'll push myself then.
Okay. So you both roll your scramble at risky standard, and we take the best overall result. And Augustus will take 1 stress if anyone fails, either them or Slip. So there's a stress for you.
You're welcome.
Slip got a 3 there. Augustus, you got a 4. So you take the lowest result of above, but the lowest result is still a 4. So the two of you are able to scramble, back on top of the tank?
That's the plan.
Probably the safest place.
All right. You scramble back up atop of the tank. The tank shakes out of the mind haze that has been put in and starts moving again. And it drives directly through the bakery building, quote unquote bakery. And there's debris raining down around you. You're finding yourself in a desperate position again. As the debris rains down, one of those chunks of concrete slams into the camera, and the thudding sound is replaced with CD hitting the floor.
Just being beaten.
So CD, you are on the ground. This guy is standing over you, raising his mace again. The woman hasn't started shocking you yet, but she's thinking about it.
All right. Hold on a second. And CD digs into their coat again and takes out the actual USB.
Okay. So you take out the USB, and they both reach for it at the same time, and their heads bonk together with a comical bonk sound. You have a moment. You're in a desperate position. You could try to run away while this is happening.
Oh, yeah.
Or you could just let them take the USB. It's up to you.
Oh, wait. Can I retcon and say that? No, I can't. I can't say that CD yeeted it, but
you can yeet it now if that's your desire.
Yeah, that's what CD is gonna do and try to get away because this is above their pay grade at this point.
Okay. You throw the USB while they're recovering from bonking their heads, and they both turn away, basically forgetting you, and run in the direction where they saw the USB go. So you are back into a risky position at this point, because there's still the third person out there, and these two might at some point, if they don't find it, come back for you.
Okay, well, now CD's gonna get gone. They are going to go.
You're going to go fast. All right, so you run away.
Yes.
Are you trying to be stealthy about this, or are you just running?
I mean, I wish there was a way that CD could, communicate, I don't have it anymore, leave me alone!
But you did have it.
Yeah.
You might have information, knowledge, other valuable resources.
So this is gonna be, I'll try skulk again, away.
Okay. This will be risky and great because they're not looking towards you.
Well, it wasn't a 2, and it wasn't a 1, but it was a 3.
Yeah, you got a 3 on your skulk there. Here's the thing, though. You get away.
Oh, good.
Something bad happens. You don't know what it is right now. You get away. I'm going to tick a clock. Don't mind me. Okay, so I'm ticking that clock as CD runs away and heads back towards wherever it is that you go to hide when things are bad. We see CD dive into a tunnel,
yes.
And the camera follows CD into that tunnel. And when it comes out the other side of that tunnel, it is instead in the ruins of the baker's shop as the tank continues to drive through. Slip and Augustus, what's going on?
But hold on one second, but what if CD's hidey hole is the bakery.
Is it?
No, I just feel sad about this bakery.
It is a sad place.
I'm going to do the only thing I know how to, Matt, which is the one action I love to undertake. I'm going to stab the tank with my AV HDMI multi-purpose cable until it submits.
You're going to try and break the tank.
No, I'm going to attune to it again.
Oh, okay. You scramble back over to the port and try to get yourself plugged back in while the tank is jerking back and forth and driving through this debris. You are in a desperate situation. You will have great effect if you are able to get in because this thing is super confused right now. This will be a desperate roll and great. Make sure you mark your experience.
That's a 4.
That is a 4. Okay, you are able to plug back into the machine. I'm going to tick a slot in the clock here. Once I've got this one done, just hold on a second.
Sure thing.
Just have to navigate clock hell for a second, then get back here. Okay, you are at 5 of 6 on gaining control of this tank. However, while you are working on plugging into this tank, it is continuing to drive through buildings, causing damage. People have mostly evacuated, but there are still some stubborn folks sitting around thinking, even though everything around me is being destroyed, I'll probably be fine. These bad things happen to other people, not me. And the tank drives into the side of an office block, it looks like. And inside you see some people there who are in half decent. It looks like they're the entry-level layer-up automated design chassis from maybe 3-4 generations ago. So they're mediocre, but they're still tagging along. It would be like you enter a room and like everybody in the room has an iPhone 3. Still an iPhone, but it's a little out of date now. And those people look up and they all see you and Augustus riding on a tank. What else do you two want to do?
Does classical music play in the background?
It was playing in the background. We saw an interior shot and it's just like do 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 do. Tank bursts through the wall with 2 people clinging to it.
The tank.
Everyone looks up.
Ipanema goes rolling in.
When it passes, the people it passes go, ah!
Scary.
Is it Augustus's action?
It can be anyone's action. Just do an action before I do something mean.
I'm gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
You gotta tune again.
That's what I was gonna do. That's all I know.
Maybe you should. I'm afraid if I attune, something bad will happen again.
Yeah, no more daisy chaining.
Arp, you don't need to do anything mean though. The dice already do enough mean things.
The dice enable me to do mean things.
Would you call that another desperate great?
I would think, at this point, it'll be desperate great effect. So please succeed at this roll to some degree.
Mini crit.
Okay, you got some 5s. That's good. So, good news.
That's the 6.
You have control.
Yes!
This clock is filled. The tank, as you are rooting around in there, you hear the tank's voice, very simple voice, being like, subdue, quell, subdue, quell. And then it pauses, and it's just going like, quack, 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 obey.
Good tank. Good tank.
All right. So the people in the building, they look up and they see that you are now patting the side of this tank's gun barrel. And one of them looks at you, and then you see their hand is moving towards something under their desk. And then there are alarms going off in the building. Normally, this wouldn't be that big of a deal, especially here in the outer layers. But you look up and you see on the wall, stenciled, the logo of this company, Nimbus Heavy Aerospace. You have been noticed. This is one of their furthest branches, but it is still one of their branches of the Nimbus Heavy Aerospace, a Tier 4 corporation. Everyone here has seen you, but you have control of a tank. What would you like to do?
You know what? Slip's feeling themselves. I look over at Augustus, and I just, how do you want to play this?
What if we sold them the tank?
No, that's not that. The tank is ours.
Terry would not like if you sold the tank. That is,
we take the
tank
and maybe sell them the schematics.
I think
for their tank.
It's their tank, yeah.
Sorry. Why do I keep on messing this up tonight?
Well, just got to keep practicing.
I raise my manipulators Friends, perhaps we can come to some sort of mutually beneficial understanding.
The person who pressed the button looks at you, and she says, "Any minute now, this place is going to be flooded with Thetacom.
Yes,
You should probably just give up now."
but it could be flooded with all your parts.
Ah, you want to do a threat?
And instead of all your parts, you could just do a quick hull scan of this lovely vehicle, take credit for the design, and we'll just roll on out of here. And you are just another unlucky or lucky set of survivors in the outer layers from this tank's rage before it mysteriously disappeared.
Okay. So this sounds like you're doing a sway, maybe. Or what is it that you want this to be?
That sounds like a sway to me.
Augustus, are you going to jump in on this?
I can RP wise, but I don't have enough stress to provide a mechanical assistance.
Okay, let's see here.
Unless we want me to take the lead on the sway, but I think our sway is the same.
Yeah, we both have 2 dots.
All right. So what's the RP part as we're watching Slip roll there? You're dealing with Nimbus, so it's going to be limited effect here. Okay. This is risky and limited sway. It's limited because they feel that they have the high. She feels that she has the high ground, morally and militarily, because Thetacom is on the way. Whatever their response speed may be, it's probably pretty fast for a Nimbus facility.
That's up.
So risky and limited.
Partial crit. 4/4.
Okay. Risky, limited effects, partial. Okay. I've got 2 options I can offer you here,
Okay.
whoever you are.
Okay.
You can leave the tank with us and get out of here unscathed, or you can stay with this hunk of junk that is clearly malfunctioning and get taken in by Thetacom. Your call.
Augustus, what was the contract? Did we just need to stop the tank, or did they want the tank?
Stop the tank.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Contract fulfilled.
Matt, can I do a fortune roll to see if I could have surreptitiously downloaded the schematics of this tank?
I would say that could be a flashback, but I think you are currently plugged into it. You could try to surreptitiously do that now, and maybe Augustus can talk and distract them.
Okay.
But it's going to be a risky standard effect to do. I think that's a hack.
Can you hacks?
You can try it with a tune, but it will be limited because you're specifically here trying to download information. So it'll be standard with hack or limited with attune.
Yeah, I can't hack at all. I can try to attune and hope for a crit, but I'm also fine just cutting running because we did fulfill the contract, sans tank. But, something's done.
Yeah. You can try to hack. It's just you're rolling 2 and you take the lowest.
Yeah, I'm not feeling terribly lucky right now.
We should quit while we're ahead.
What's that?
Okay.
I said we should probably learn to quit while we're ahead.
Yeah, I'm like, I think that we've arrived at an agreeable conclusion for these deliberations, and I appreciate both your patience and your candor, ma'am.
I'm so glad we could come to an agreement. Now, if you want to get out of here alive, you've got 2 minutes before, Thetacom arrives.
That I extend one of my manipulators, like, thank you very much.
All right, you 2 run?
Yeah, bye.
Jesus.
Okay. So 2 jobs were undertaken this session. So sorry, it took a little longer than expected. One of those jobs was successful. You did the thing. One of those jobs, not, but valuable lessons are hopefully learned by everyone on the team.
Don't split the team. Number 1. Number 2, don't roll.
Yeah, we just don't roll. That's what I'm learning.
That's how we roll, is we don't.
We mini crit and then roll a 2.
Okay. So I don't know if we have time to do a full downtime because I think most of you are pretty exhausted right now. It's very late for all of you.
Yeah, it's late. And I realized that when I whined, I was like, oh, that sounded a little bit more whiny than I wanted it to sound like. But it's
That's fine.
It's a solid 2 a.m.
Okay.
I tell you what.
So the tank job was 4 cred, I believe.
Sure was.
Okay. So mark down 4 cred. You can divvy it up how you want. You can put stuff in your stash as well. You can look up the rules for that if you want. I don't want to get caught up in minutiae right now. Well, we did the payout. You got the 4 cred and heat. We'll do heat and then we'll pick up with downtime at the start of our next gathering.
Sounds good.
So let me just remember where heat is in this nice, lovely, beautiful book.
I don't really see how we could have earned any heat in the outer layers today. everything was so clandestine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure, yeah.
I think that the random, I don't even remember how we came to the name Probable Cause, but nothing has been so apropos in my life.
Okay. So you've got your payoff, upkeep. You got 4 cred, a small job. Yep. Record cred, divvy it up. I say record cred on the crew sheet or divvy it up among the crew members as you see fit. You just receive the cred. It just comes to you on a drone. You don't have to have a meeting with anybody. So it's still not entirely clear who you worked for in total, but that is another job that you have undertaken and succeeded. And that is a job that is technically, as far as you know, for Umbral investigations. So I'm going to mark jobs as 1 for that. Upkeep. Ship parts wear out. Your upkeep is 2 cred. Do you wish to spend 2 cred for upkeep on probable cause?
Yes.
Okay.
Gotta
that means that
make Terry happy since we didn't get them the tank.
So your total level there for cred is you have 4 left now. Okay, heat. We've got 2 jobs to do heat for. One of them was in mid, one of them was in outer. So for the job in mid, let's see. Completely quiet, others are blamed. Smooth and quiet, low exposure. Contained standard exposure. Loud and chaotic, high exposure. Wild, devastating exposure. So high profile target. No. No killing of citizens. No massive property damage there. No. Okay. I think you get 1 heat in mid because your job was very quiet. Nobody else was blamed. They saw you. And the job didn't particularly succeed, so it's only going to generate 1 heat for you in mid for that one. So that brings you up to 7, which means you have 1 more heat in mid before you're wanted there. What else do we need to do while we're doing this quickly? No wanted level yet. Okay, now heat for your job in the outer layer will be a somewhat different story, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CD got hurt.
Oh, sorry, you're at 5 heat in mid because you did some lay low actions during the last downtime, so 5 heat there. So you're still fairly safe there. Now for outer layers, completely quiet, others are blamed. Nope. Smooth and quiet, low exposure. Also no, you were exposed several times. Loud and chaotic, high exposure. I think it's probably loud and chaotic, high exposure out here, so that's 4 to start with.
Nice.
Also, actions that garner additional heat and attention from the law. Add the following. Let's see. High profile or well-connected target. No, your target was... Nobody wants to admit that they were the target of this job. Number 2, heat, killing of hegemonic citizens. No. Massive property damage. Yes. So I think you have generated 6 heat in the outer layers.
I honestly thought we were going to fill a barp.
Not just yet. Okay, so that brings you up to 6 heat in outer. We're going to do entanglements and downtime next time we have a session. So I just want to say to everybody here, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope we had an interesting session. All the same, a lot of fun stuff happened.
No doubt there.
Yep.
Some regrets.
I have some regrets.
I have many.
Regrets, I have a few. Okay, good. That's everything for tonight. Please don't forget to follow the show at Broken Sun RPG on Twitter. As your friendly guide, Matt, you can find me at YCaliber. I also run the show's Twitter at the moment. We have a Patreon. We would love it if you would join our Patreon. It's at patreon.com/BrokenSunRPG. There's some cool benefits that you can get at different levels, so check that out and see if you feel like we deserve some help with defraying the costs of this hobby. And let's see. The folks I was joined by today, we have Keekers, who you can find at BSSpaceCat on Twitter. OG Brown Sugar, who you can find at OG Brown Sugar on Twitter and also on the Flight Risk podcast. And we are joined by Salastreas, aka Mike, at Good Sir Blood on Twitter. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Space Squids.
Space Squids.
Space Squid.
Space Squids, indeed.